Stop just trying to become more confident and just take the action. So many people I know are just waiting and waiting and waiting in order to be able to become more confident in a specific area. And what they don't realize is that they're doing it backwards. See, confidence is the result of doing something over and over and over again. And once you're able to do that, then you have the ability to feel like you're going to be able to do it and rock it and really do an amazing job. What most people talk about when they want to become confident is that they say that they want confidence, but really what they're looking for is the courage to take the action. And I want to give you that courage. I want to give you the ability to say that, hey, you know what? I am nervous right now. I'm scared right now. But in spite of that fear, I'm going to take this action. I'm going to be courageous in this moment to allow myself to succeed in order to be able to move forward and do the things that I want to be doing. How many things in our lives do we just get so scared of? And because we're scared of them, we're not able to take the action. And there's so many opportunities and experiences that we miss out on because we're so scared. We have the ability to become more confident and to become more courageous. And if we could just start to shift that expectation and to realize, hey, you know what? In this thing that I want to be doing, I want to be able to make a YouTube channel. I want to be able to public speak, or I want to be able to ask the girl out. I just have to be courageous in the moment. I'm allowed to be nervous. I'm allowed to be scared. I could be even excited if I wanted to. I could feel that unease inside, but regardless, I'm going to have to take the action because that's what's going to be able to move forward. And guess what? Action breeds action. And the more action that you can start to take, that's going to be a thing that's going to be able to help you to be able to move forward and to do so much more in your own personal life. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is, which area do I want to become more confident, and how can I be more courageous in that specific field? And really ask yourself, what is it that I want to be doing? If it's in sales, if it's in your own personal relationships, how can I bring out the best in me to allow myself to become more successful? And the more action that I take and the more successful that I become, then you're going to see yourself become more and more confident in that specific thing. For so many of us, we get so stuck in not taking that action that it only hurts us and we have less self-esteem and we have lower confidence because we never did it. How many times have you wanted to do something, you had the opportunity, you were about to raise your hand, and then all of a sudden, you just weren't able to do it? It's like my client who I was speaking to, who was so scared to raise her hand, and then we worked on it, and only by 12th grade was she able to ever raise her hand in class and give an answer that she thought was right. And even if she got it wrong, which she did plenty of times, and I was so proud of her because she was so scared. So we need to ask ourselves, what are those things we want to become confident in, and what are the actions that are necessary in order to see the thing that we want to become successful in? The second thing you need to understand about confidence is, what is it that you have to lose? You see, at the end of the day, the thing that you're not doing now, you're still not doing tomorrow. And if we can start to say that I'm really losing nothing, then that could be a great way to get ourselves to take that action. Because once we could realize that we're still going to be in the same place, then we have to be able to move forward. It's understanding that there are certain things that are risky, but there's also certain things that if you don't do are riskier. The amount of people who just rely on themselves and rely on their jobs to be able to support themselves is pretty risky for many people. But it's also risky not to be able to take advantage, to learn investment ideas, to be able to do things on yourself in order to be able to take those actions. We all have this ability to be able to move forward. We all have the opportunity in our life, especially nowadays, to do so much more, and yet we're so scared and we're not able to do that. But understanding the other side of the coin is a lot scarier and it's a lot less controlling. Of course, there's so many things in life that we don't have control over, but the things we do have the ability to control, and if we can start to control those, then we're going to just open up more and more opportunities for ourselves. It's one of the reasons why when I left education, I was not really so upset because I was so young and I saw so many educators in their 50s and 60s who were incredible educators, but they just didn't have a plan afterwards. And because of that, they had to start doing certain odd-end jobs, which were so beneath them in their own dignity, but because they had to make that money. We need to ask ourselves, what is the risk of us not doing it? And that sometimes weighs so much more than the risk of actually taking the action. And the younger you are, the more risk you have the ability to take. You have so much more time to be able to mend all the things that you might have gone wrong. And guess what? Even if you do get them wrong, you still have the ability to make and learn from those mistakes. And that brings me to my third tip. Understanding that failure is just feedback. It was one of the biggest mind-blowing ideas that I had with my coach, and I finally understood it after I lost a bunch of money in my real estate deal. You see, I came to my coaching session and I was just deflated. I was down. I couldn't get any words out. I was so upset. And he looks at me and he's like, "Bennett, what's going on?" And I told him, like, I just lost a lot of money in a real estate deal. I'm really not happy. I'm not feeling good. I really don't want to be on this call. And like, I just don't know what to do. And he looks at me and he said, I don't get it. I was like, what's going on? And I said, should I repeat myself? Like, you trying to like put salt on the wound? Like, what's coming on here? Like, I told you, like, I just lost a lot of money on a real estate deal. And he told me, he's like, yeah, but that's just feedback. And I sat there in my chair and I asked him, like, what do you mean by that? And he said, it's not a failure. It's just feedback. And it's just a perspective that you get to choose. And I sit back there and I realized, oh my gosh, I've been perceiving this totally wrong. You see, for so many of us, when we go through something, when we finally take action, when we build the courage to do something and it doesn't go the way as planned, we look at ourselves as failures. We look at ourselves like we shouldn't have done that. And the next time we have an opportunity to step into it, we don't take that opportunity because we know in the past we'd failed. But if we can stop looking at it as a failure and instead look at it as feedback, then what's going to happen the next time we have that opportunity is we're going to step into it. And guess what? We're going to just be a little bit more smarter to know which direction that we can start to move in. And I think that is something that is so powerful when it comes to the work that we want to be doing and the action that we want to be taking. If you have the opportunity to be able to move forward, if you have the opportunity to take advantage in specific areas and to learn from your own experience, that could be something that could be so incredible. And what's really interesting about this is that I find that with different people, when they come into different areas of different parts of their lives, they think that there are certain levels. You know, if you want to try to get to level 100, everybody thinks they're at the level 40 or 50 or 60, wherever it might be. But what's really interesting is that life shows us very clearly what level we're at. And sometimes we're having the wrong expectations and we think we're level 60 and we're at a level 20. And then we realize, why are things so hard? Why are things so difficult? This is not how it's supposed to be. And then we end up quitting. But for other people, they don't get upset in terms of the difference where they thought they were versus where they are. They now just get great feedback and say, hey, I thought I was at a 60 and now that I'm at a 20, what are the things I need to be doing in order to build up to a 60? And that is a different way to focus on it. Because if you can start to say, I'm not upset about being a 20 because this is realistic, then guess what? Then I could be able to move forward. And what's interesting is that if somebody came in thinking they're a 20 and they are a 20, then they're going to be so much better off than somebody who's thinking they're at a 60 and then coming down to a 20. So we all have that ability. And what we need to ask ourselves is, like, what is it that we're going to be doing? How is it that we're going to be able to take advantage and frame these lessons that are happening to us as just feedback and be able to move forward? And once we have that ability, then guess what? Then we can start to really take advantage of all the different areas that we want. So understanding that could be so tremendous when it comes to all the work that we want to be doing, and to really start to ask ourselves, how is it that we want to be doing it? What is it that we want to be doing in order to allow ourselves to become more successful? Confidence is one of those things that we have the ability to build. We have to be more courageous. It's not easy, and it is scary a lot of the times. But guess what? The more courageous we can be, the more confident we could become. The more confident we become, we build our self-esteem in so many different areas. And then we could all of a sudden allow ourselves to do so many things with ease. And guess what? You're going to look back and you're going to be so proud of yourself to say, hey, that first time I did that one thing, and I look back, it was crazy. I was nervous about that because now I have this other monster, this other mountain that I have to climb. And guess what? That's going to be an amazing mountain to climb also. And we can start to live on the path and to really understand and appreciate the journey. That's going to be something that's going to allow us to be able to move forward and take advantage of that. And if you're the type of person who says, why can I never get a break? Make sure to take a look at this next video where we talk about just that.